This Hantavirus situation that's going on that cruise ship is more serious than people think. And it's starting to look a little similar to what happened in 2020. You have a ship filled with 149 people who could possibly be infected by the virus. Mind you, you had 3 people pass away. And one of those people that passed away, a 70-year-old Dutch man, was with his wife when he passed away. This man's wife took a flight from St. Helena to Johannesburg Airport. Mind you, this flight was a commercial flight. What does that mean? That means that this virus that's not usually airborne, which is airborne now, had a possibility of being contracted by more people that was on that commercial flight. Mind you, this woman was sick as well. Mind you, they did not tell this woman to leave. This lady left on her own to ride back with her husband's body. Now, if you remember, Cape Verde wasn't going to let this ship dock. So now this ship is going to the Canary Islands. And when it gets to the Canary Islands, they're supposed to clean the ship. I don't know if they're letting anybody off this ship, but Spain said it was okay for this ship to come to Canary Island. But I don't think y'all understand how serious this shit can get. They're saying that this virus has a 9-week quarantine period. And also, the mortality rate of this virus is 40%. That don't sound scary to you? The question we need to ask is, how did that virus mutate that way? Again, this shit is way more serious than they're saying it is. Pay attention.
Guys, this one right here is wild. There is reports of a hantavirus situation on a cruise ship, and sadly, about three, 4 lives have already been lost. Now, people online are split. Some are literally saying, "Don't let that ship dock," because it's giving major 2019 flashbacks when everything with COVID started spiraling. And others are like, let's be serious. The ship already made stops before anyone even knew what was going on, meaning passengers had already gotten off at different places. So keeping them stranded now might not even change much. And there are also reports that some people have already been evacuated, which just adds to the confusion. Now, overall, the internet is panicking, joking, and debating all at once. But yeah, the whole situation definitely has people on edge watching how this plays out. So I have put together clips of Black Americans reacting to this. You guys stay tuned. But quick disclaimer before we get into the video, this does not support any bullying or harassment. It's there for educational purposes and of course to let you know what is trending on social media. Let's watch these videos and I'll be right back with more commentary.
People are really passing away on a cruise ship due to hantavirus. And hantavirus is literally a virus that comes from rodents and their waste. And I read something about hantavirus not being easily spreadable, but honestly, I feel like that ship needs to be quarantined. That cruise ship actually needs to not dock. I fully believe that because the thing is, there's an incubation period with hantavirus. So usually it takes a minute for, things to kick in and for people to see the effects of hantavirus. But these people are on a cruise ship. And so I'm assuming that honestly it was passed person to person. And if it was passed person to person and everyone is on a cruise ship, then I feel like that cruise ship is probably, more infected than we probably even know about. And maybe there are people who are infected and aren't seeing any symptoms as of yet. Like that whole thing is too much. We quite literally do not need to go through a whole nother pandemic. Because honestly, that's what I feel like that would lead to. And again, I saw that it said it wasn't easily spreadable, but because there's an incubation period, I feel like genuinely it was spread person to person. And maybe there is a rat infestation on the boat. I don't know. But possibly someone might have already had hantavirus before even getting on the cruise ship. And then they just spread that around to other people who were also on that cruise ship. And so for that, I feel like that boat needs to stay in the ocean for now. And those people need to be quarantined. I don't know if they need to be quarantined on the ship or, quarantined in a special place. I don't know exactly how it will work. But honestly, I feel like this is a situation that needs to be monitored. Because, again, we do not need a whole situation where everything is locked down and people are sick because of this hantavirus. Like, you know what I mean? It's just too much. It honestly is too much, especially with everything already going on in the world. Like, please.
I feel so bad for everyone who was on that cruise ship with the Hantavirus, but I pray for the love of God, do not let them dock. I feel terrible for them, but it's a disease that has a 35% fatality rate, and there's no specific treatment for it either. I'm not trying to fearmonger, but a 35% fatality rate is absurd, alright? For context, smallpox, which we all know how deadly that was, the fatality rate of that was only 30%. I understand hantavirus is much harder to transmit, but it is still very dangerous. And also, symptoms can take up to 8 weeks to show. And I understand, how it can be transmitted. They say it's not through human-human contact and it's by rodents, but even still, we cannot be taking a risk right now. And I really do feel awful for all the people on that cruise ship, because I saw the one guy's video where he was like, I just want to get home to my family, like, this sucks, and he was crying, and I get that. But also, you actually shouldn't want to get home to your family, because if you spread it to them, if you're infected and you don't even know it, there's just so many bad things that can happen. I feel like it would be a lot different if it was a disease that actually had a specific cure and it wasn't as fatal as it is, because a 35% fatality rate is very high. And this is an extreme, but I really don't even want the risk of a pandemic or an epidemic, so I need them to just stay on the damn ship.
They're going to have to stay on that boat. They've already gotten off. There was a deadly hantavirus outbreak on a cruise ship off the coast of Africa, and people are saying we got to quarantine that boat, and I need you all to understand people have already gotten off the boat. This was a cruise ship traveling from the coast of South America to the coast of Africa, and on that journey, they stopped on several islands where people got off the boat, they experienced excursions, and then they got back on the boat. They did not immediately realize that the virus outbreak on the cruise ship was the hantavirus. And there's a lot of different reasons for this. One, hantavirus is rare, but two, it originally presents like the flu. Fever, fatigue, body aches. And then people get pulmonary issues and they die. And generally, this virus is only transferred through rat droppings. But there is a case of it being transferred from human to human contact in Argentina. Guess where this boat originated? Argentina. So understandably, people are concerned about this cruise ship, but please understand people have already gotten off the boat and they're doing contact tracing with anyone who could have come into contact with this virus. But you should be hearing the saxophones playing right now, because if this is the type of virus that spreads person to person through the air, we need to have lockdowns, and people need to be masking, and people need to be taking this seriously, because hantavirus is incredibly deadly, more deadly than COVID, and we could be in serious trouble. And I don't say that to fearmonger, because we don't know what we're dealing with yet, but we could be dealing with something very serious.
Take the wheel, Lord, take the wheel. We cannot go through another lockdown. We can't. We ain't got it in us. That Dutch cruise ship, 3 dead, 2 more confirmed, 5 more suspected of the hantavirus, all from rodent exposure. Where the hell did the rodents come from? And I heard that Spain has agreed to let them dock somewhere out there somewhere. I don't know. This is like deja vu. And then there's some weird shit going on. The man with the green shirt, where are the other people on the cruise ship? Why aren't they coming forward? The only person I've seen is the man with the green shirt. All I know is we've been suffering one way or another since 2016, and I'll be damned if we continue to go through this shit. Enough's enough. There's enough people crashing out. Everybody's on the damn brink. I feel bad. I really do. I feel really genuinely bad for the people stuck on that cruise ship. But no, we can't do it. No, get somebody else to do it.
Now, you all have been tagging me, so it's time to talk about the hantavirus. And let me tell you something. I'm not playing around with you all this time around. Now, unfortunately, there's a private cruise line stuck in the middle of the ocean because nobody wants them to dock, and rightfully so, okay? Because we've already been through a panini, a pendulum, a panoramic, if you will, okay? And we already got PTSD. We do not want to be locked down again under this man. I would sooner open my wrist with a Popeye spork before having to listen to him again. He's going to tell you to drink bleach, and hopefully this time you all listen to him. Now, what we know about the hantavirus is that it can be passed through contact with rodents, through inhaling particles from their feces droppings and their pee droppings. There's no cure, all right? None. You see, I almost died in 2021. Yes, hooked up to machines and everything. So I am not playing around when it comes to airborne viruses because now we know it can be passed from human to human. 3 people are deceased. Others are infected. So Spain is going to allow the ship to dock. These people will undergo extensive evaluation. The ship will be cleansed. And hopefully these people will be quarantined because let me tell you something. I don't have the same patience that I had 6 years ago. I'm not going to keep telling you to back up away from me and cover your mouth and wear your mask. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah, I know it might sound bad, but the people with that Hantavirus on that boat, you're going to have to stay on that boat. We already got Trump. We got Trump. And I'm sorry, I'm already exhausted. Taxes are kicking my fucking ass. We got to deal with these jobs. We got to deal with inflation. We got to deal with gas prices. We don't need a Hantavirus. We do not need anybody to open up that Pandora's box. You are going to have to stay on that boat. And I'm sorry, when I seen the guy crying on a video about how he just want to get home, listen. Hard times, but we can't deal with it. We can't deal with it. We can't deal with it. There's not one place that wants you to even dock on their docks because they can't deal with it. Don't bring that shit here.
That man came on here whining and talking about some, oh, save us, let us dock, even though there's people here with the hantavirus and there's no cure. So you basically saying fuck us, and you think we gotta come save you. No, stay on the boat. Stay.
It's truly infuriating to watch everyone panic and say they need to sink the boat and outwardly questioning why everyone on the boat wants to leave and is not worried about spreading it. As if everyone hasn't, spent the last 4 years ignoring and spreading the current pandemic. So I've seen people ask this question, why did they let the people live? Because reports out there are that they like some people had to just go out of the board at some points, of course. So then obviously I should think they were not thinking plus no mercy bias. So a 78-year-old man uh, analyzed on a cruise after flu-like symptoms, relatively normal, right? Now, they didn't think anything was amiss until his wife and another passenger died. And then 4 other people became very sick. I wish people thought more proactively, but that is not the world we live in. We don't live in a world where people think more proactively. I noticed only Forbes included the key info about it being confirmed human to human spread in their headline. It doesn't feel like worst case scenario that it's the one H2H strain and on a cruise ship which is Sethpo. I don't know much about how it's spread, but I imagine there's an airborne element to it. Which, yeah, there is an airborne component as far as I can tell. Infection is usually caused by inhaling hantaviruses that have become airborne from rodent urine, droppings or saliva, yeah, according to Mayo Clinic. So people are clarifying, like, um, people are clarifying the H2H airborne transmission aspect thanks to um, other people who just making these posts online because everyone is reacting. People are panicking, and I see people like going like, Why can't they just sink the boat? Sink the boat, then what happens? Look at people who have lost their lives in ignorance. They didn't know it, so probably at some point they could have gone out of the boat without knowing. And if they are saying there's an airborne element to it, it's just a matter of time, and people are gonna catch it. And that's why people are really saying that it's giving the vibes of December 20 December 2019, when there was this COVID-19, yeah, COVID-19 disease. I just pray, let's keep praying for God's mercies, honestly. Let's keep praying for the Lord's mercies, yeah, to be with us and upon us.